The focus of these next few videos are how to use Google Forms and Google Sheets together. Google Forms is another way that you can collect data for your spreadsheet. So instead of having to import spreadsheet data from somewhere else or manually type in information into each column and row, you can actually have that data inputted right from a Google form. So examples where you might want to do this. Perhaps you have an event registration, someone's signing up for a conference or to bring something into school, maybe like a snack. If you want to quickly take a poll or give a quiz, collect parent information. Um, in the classroom, teachers often use this to keep track of parents that they've contacted, keep information on students, for example, behavior data or progress monitoring, maybe to log interventions. And some teachers also have their students fill out a Google form as a reading log. So using Google Forms is relatively easy to do. I don't want to spend too much time on this because this is a course on sheets, not forms. But in the video description, I'm going to include a link to a playlist I created on using Google Forms. So almost all of the questions that you might have about how to create a form and the different features, you'll find a video on many of those right in this playlist. But to create a Google form, you'll do this from your drive and you'll go to new and you'll do Google form, which is what I did to create this. To add questions to your form, you'll use the plus button to add a question. So you'll see I am setting up this form to collect contact information from parents so that when I need to contact a parent, I have everything that I need in this spreadsheet as opposed to having to look this up in my student information system. Plus, we know the student information systems at school sometimes are out of date, parents' numbers change, emails change. So you'll have it a snapshot of what the accurate information is. And this form I would send a link to this form out to parents at the beginning of the school year and ask them to fill it out. So you'll see the question types here. When you add a question, you get to choose the question type. So short answer usually leaves space to type like a few words or a sentence even. Paragraph gives a chance for extended response. Or I could also include some close-ended questions. Multiple choice allows the user to select one answer. Checkboxes allows multiple. And drop-down is very similar to multiple choice. What it does is it makes your form not appear so long as it puts everything, all the choices in a drop-down menu. I'm going to delete this question. So you'll see I'm asking the parent for their first and last name, full name. I want them to provide their child's first name, their child's last name. I like this because then I can sort my sheet alphabetically by last name. I want them to put in their email address where I can reach them. One cool trick, if I want to make sure that I actually get an email address here, I can go to response validation and go to text, and I can say that it contains an email address. And I can give a little hint if I want, but this is going to require that they type in an actual valid email address. I want them to leave their phone number that they can be reached during the day. I left this as optional, so I did not make this a required question because maybe the parent prefers not to be contacted by phone. Maybe they prefer to be contacted by email, so I will leave this option open to them. And then here, this is a multiple choice question, so they pick what is the best method. You'll see that the question doesn't really change if I make it a drop-down question. It's just going to be hidden in a menu. And then I have a question here let me edit that, to please include anything that they feel is important. And again, I left this as optional. And let me add one more question just to show you how this works. Do you have any questions or concerns? Right, and you'll know that you can see right here that Google Forms has detected that this is not a multiple choice type question, that it's a longer response. So they've changed this to paragraph forming. And I'm going to also make this optional. Now, how do we get this into a spreadsheet? That's going to happen in the Responses tab. Any Google form can be made into a spreadsheet by clicking on this Responses icon or this spreadsheet icon. And you have two options. You can either create a brand new spreadsheet or you can put it into an existing spreadsheet. So for this situation, I'm going to put this in a brand new spreadsheet. Why you may want to put it into an existing spreadsheet is because you may want to put many form responses within one sheet, or you may already have related information. Maybe you have a parent contact log where you're keeping track of parents you've reached out to. Maybe you want it all to be in one sheet. That might be why you would use selecting, but we're going to do a brand new and click on create. And what you'll notice is a brand new Google Sheet opens. I know this information is going to be coming from a form because the sheet name has a form icon there. And you'll also notice that the sheet has the same exact name as my form, except at the end of the file name it says responses. And if I refresh my Google Drive here, I can see that I have my form and then my responses here. Okay, and of course, if you are familiar with Google Forms, when responses come in, you can view them in the responses area, but Sheets gives you the ability to do some different things. All right, in the next video, I'm going to show you what it looks like when we start to get some responses.